What's up, guys? A trade has happened between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Vancouver Canucks. So, Jason Dickinson of the Vancouver Canucks and a 2024 second round pick head to Chicago, and Riley Smith goes to Vancouver in return. So, as you guys can see from,
Riley Stillman, not Smith.
yeah, Riley Stillman. Oh my God. I was thinking about Riley Smith from Vegas. My bad. So as you can see here, they shed $1.3 million and they gain $1.3 million Chicago. And obviously, this is a cap dump for the Vancouver Canucks. That's why they had to add a sweetener in a 2024 second round pick. So, what are your thoughts on this deal, Chris?
I mean, listen, both guys have somewhat of the same production. I mean, I don't, I don't really watch Riley Stillman closely. I mean, maybe some fans think that he does the little things correctly. I like honestly, I wouldn't be able to, say if he's like a okay role player or not. But I mean, these guys share the same production. Chicago gets a second round pick. So for me, Chicago wins this deal just because rebuilding team and every pick counts and I mean they're a team that could afford to take salary dumps. And I don't think this is going to be the last trade for Chicago. I think this is like kind of just like the little start. I think there's a lot of bigger names on that team that might be moved. So we'll see. But I mean, they're heading in the right direction as to with the picks and stuff. I mean, I kind of disagreed with a few things they did this year with a few young guys, but you know,
Well, look, Riley Stillman, acquired by Vancouver, Jay Fresh posts this. So if you're an analytics guy, you guys could pay very close attention. You pause the video at this moment, take a look at what Riley Smith brings to the Vancouver Canucks.
that's what I want to. Interesting. Oh, wait, can you go back? I'm
Yeah, yeah.
curious. Is there the comparison for Jason Dickinson or
Well, I'm hoping that they posted it by now, but we'll
because there?
see.
I mean, points wise, that was a rated R ad right there.
Yeah.
Uh, points wise, I mean, they're pretty much the same. I mean, Riley Stillman though is gritty from like yeah, he's a fighter.
Yeah, look at this guy. Chris Faber just posted
Maybe
right now.
yeah, exactly. Maybe I guess they needed a guy like that on Vancouver, right? Someone who could drop the gloves and to play aggressively. Uh, but Jason Dickinson, if I'm not mistaken, had pretty decent. Decent. He was not bad with Dallas. I mean, 20 points, 15 points, and Vancouver. I mean, wasn't anything special either. I mean, listen. I mean, at the end of the day, they did this trade because of the second round pick, right? So
Yeah, look, you guys could take a look here right now at the stats. 6'2", 27 years old, 200 pounds, drafted in the first round, 29th overall by Dallas. As of right now, 283 games played, 30 goals, 44 assists, 74 points total. And we just look at his career very quickly here. And, he hasn't really done anything crazy in terms of his point production. His career high 22 points in 2018, 2019 with Dallas. I know there was a lot of promise in terms of Jason Dickinson when he was acquired by the Vancouver Canucks. When he went there, he did not have the season that everyone was hoping for, and they move on from him fairly quickly. We thought he was going to have a bounce back season with Vancouver because of all the offensive talent they have this year. Hopefully having Podkolzin, breaking out this year, adding Kuzmenko, having Bruce Boudreau as their coach from the start of the season. But unfortunately, they're like, you know what? We do not care about a bounce back season from Dickinson. We rather clear cap. And in terms of Riley Stillman, 24 years old, so 3 years younger, 6'1". He's a defenseman. Vancouver needed to bulk up on defense, and they do. 2016 pick, fourth round, 23rd overall in his respective round. So 114 overall, 108 games played, 3 goals, 15 assists. Uh,
speaking of bulking up their defense, actually, we have a comment here by viewer Daryl. He had a horrible season with Vancouver, and Vancouver needed the grit on the team as well as the back end. So yeah, pretty
yeah,
much.
it totally makes sense in terms of that. But, um,
And I mean, you could argue it's a kind of a win-win. I wouldn't I mean, Riley Stillman, who knows? I mean, anything could happen, right? He could like blossom into maybe some late blooming great talent. I mean, I'm not gonna say elite, but like something somewhat decent.
He's a
Uh, but at the
defense.
same time, at the same time, Chicago gets a second round pick for is it this year? Because I mean, it's a pretty stacked
2024,
draft. Uh
2024.
oh, okay then. I don't know about that one then. I would
Look,
say it's a win-win.
it's still a second round pick from you know the Vancouver Canucks,
It's
and
just
the Vancouver Canucks, they're not really guaranteed a playoff spot, so we'll see what happens in terms of that.
I really don't understand what Chicago's approach is to the
But a lot of
rebuild.
people are confused, to be
Because
honest.
like this guy is young, and they trade for an older guy. I mean, sure you get the second round pick, but wouldn't you want to keep this young guy? Already you get rid of the Brinkat, which makes absolutely no sense. You would think, they're rebuilding around him and Doc, and both of them are gone. Usually when you're rebuilding, you trade like players like Kane and Taves. But I guess they're doing the opposite, or maybe
Yeah,
they're saving them for later. Who knows?
look,
But
career high 12 points last year for Stillman, in 52 games. So, yeah, obviously, I think as of right now, Stillman is the better player in terms of what Vancouver gets and what Chicago gets. Vancouver is going to be trying to, fight for a playoff spot this year. Uh, in my opinion, they're pretty competitive, but in terms of, the team's cap space, both of them taking a look at Chicago, uh, projected cap space as of right now, $7.1 million. So they could have afforded to take on a guy like that. Yeah, they added him right here, Jason Dickinson, $2 million, 600. Yeah, yeah, 2.65 million basically. 27 years old, and he's going to be a UFA at the end of 24-25 season. So, that's not bad. And in terms of Vancouver, we'll take a look here. Yeah, they needed to do that. They yeah, and let's see. Look at Stillman. Stillman, he's an RFA, so they basically have control of his rate versus his rights, and at $1.35 million, significantly cheaper and younger, and they own his rights. In my opinion, honestly, despite Vancouver giving away a second round pick in 2024,
yeah, I think I'm gonna change my answer as
I
well.
think
Now
Vancouver
that I
wins.
look more
Yeah,
at the details, I didn't know he was this young. I
yeah.
thought they were the same age. So he's
No, 3 year
27,
difference.
Dickinson,
Yeah,
really?
Dickinson's 30 is 27 and Stillman is 24. But
Yeah, and I didn't know that the pick was in 2024. That kind of hurts, especially when there's a loaded draft this year.
yeah,
But then
I
again,
mean that pretty much sums everything up in terms of this deal. Um, we'll like to hear your comments in the comment section below. Did Vancouver win this deal? Is it a fair deal? Did Chicago win this deal? We'd like to hear from the both respective fan bases, the Chicago fan base and the Vancouver fan base. And before this video ends, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you're interested in Bet99 and fantasy hockey, football, casino games, make sure to sign up with the link in our description to Bet99 using our code YoungGuns1. You must be 19 years old and up to play responsibly. And our other sponsor, the Mind Foundation, they raise funds and awareness to find cures for neurological diseases and disorders. And they're currently focused on mental health. So if you guys want to donate, the link is in the description below. But until then, guys, we'll see you in the next episode of the Young Guns Podcast.